The broken peace the stars had always called to humanity. For thousands of years, humans looked up at the night sky and wondered what waited among those distant lights. When they finally built ships fast enough to reach them, they came with hope in their hearts. Earth's first ambassadors stepped onto the grand platform of the Galactic Council with smiles on their faces. Captain Tom Bradley led the human delegation. He was a simple man from Earth, a former soldier who believed in peace. Behind him stood 5 others, each representing different parts of their world. They carried no weapons. They brought gifts instead: art, music, scientific knowledge, and samples of Earth's culture. The council chamber was massive. 5 alien races sat in tall chairs, looking down at the humans. The Vex were tall and thin, with 4 arms and cold black eyes. The Cork were heavy and strong, covered in thick armor-like skin. The Mera looked almost like flowing water given form. The Drax were small, but their minds were sharp as knives. And the Fane, the oldest race, sat in the center, their faces hidden behind golden masks. "We come in peace," Tom said. His voice echoed in the huge room. "Earth wishes to join the galactic community. We want to trade, learn, and grow together." The Thane leader, who called himself Prime Vorn, made a sound that the translator turned into laughter. "Peace? How interesting. Tell us, human, what does Earth have that we cannot simply take?" Tom felt the words like a slap, but he kept his calm. "We have our freedom. We have our knowledge. We have our friendship. These are not things you can take. They must be given freely." More laughter filled the chamber. A court general named Crow stood up. He was twice as tall as any human, and his voice was like thunder. "Your world has metals we need. Rare elements. Water. You will give us mining rights to your planets. You will pay tribute, or you will face consequences." "We will share our resources fairly," Tom replied. "But we will not be slaves. And we will not give up our freedom." The next 3 months were hard. Earth tried every diplomatic path. They offered compromise after compromise. They invited alien ambassadors to visit Earth, to see humanity's willingness to cooperate. Some came. Most did not care. Then the message came. A message that changed everything. Mars colony is under attack. Tom was in Earth's orbital defense station when the news hit. His hands went cold. Mars colony was home to 5,000 people, families, children, scientists, who wanted to build a better future. The attack was fast and brutal. Cork warships dropped from orbit. They did not target military bases. They targeted living areas. They wanted to send a message. They wanted Earth to be afraid that, by the time Earth's defense ships arrived, it was over. 3,000 dead. The court fleet was already gone, jumping back into faster-than-light space like cowards who strike and run. Tom stood in the command center, watching the footage. Burning buildings. Crying survivors. A child's toy floating in zero gravity among the wreckage. He had seen war before. He had fought in Earth's last conflicts. He thought those days were behind humanity. He was wrong. Admiral Emma Cross stood beside him. She was older, gray-haired, and her eyes were hard as steel. "What are your orders, Captain?" Tom looked at her. Then he looked at the Council's last message on the screen. It was simple. Submit or more will die. For 3 months, Earth had begged for peace. For 3 months, they had offered friendship. The galaxy had answered with fire and death. "Send a message to the Council," Tom said quietly. His voice was calm, but something had changed in it. Something cold and final. "Tell them Earth tried peace. Tell them we offered our hand in friendship. Tell them they chose war instead." He turned to face Emma fully. "And tell them humanity accepts their choice." Around Earth, in hidden shipyards and secret military bases, lights began to turn on. Humanities had spent 3 months hoping for peace. But they had not been idle. They had prepared for the worst. Now the worst had come. War had begun. The galaxy thought it knew war. For 10,000 years, the council races had fought each other. They had rules. They had honor codes. They attacked military targets. They gave warnings. They negotiated surrenders. Humanity did not fight that way. Admiral Emma Cross stood on the bridge of Earth's warship, Retribution. It was not the biggest ship in the human fleet, but it was fast and deadly. Around her, 30 more human vessels moved through the darkness of space. They were heading toward a Cork military station near Jupiter's orbit. "Status report," Emma said calmly. Lieutenant Jack Moore looked up from his console. He was young, barely 25, but his eyes were old now. Mars had changed everyone. Court fleet detected. 15 warships. They are moving to intercept us. General Crowell's voice came over the communication channel. A translator made his words sound proud and confident. "Human vessels, you will surrender now. You cannot win. Our ships are superior. Our weapons are stronger. Turn back while you still can." Emma smiled. It was not a kind smile. "Open a channel." The screen flickered. Crowell's huge face appeared. He looked amused. "So the prey wishes to speak before dying?" "I want you to understand something," Emma said. "You think you know war. You do not. You have fought games. You have played at battle. Humanity has spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of killing each other. We have fought with sticks and stones. We have fought with fire and steel. We have destroyed entire cities in seconds. We have turned our own world into a graveyard more times than we can count." Crowell laughed. "Primitive savages boasting about. We did not come here to talk," Emma interrupted. "We came here to teach you what real war looks like." She cut the channel. "All ships execute pattern Delta. No survivors." What happened next shocked. The Court fleet. Human ships did not form neat battle lines like the aliens expected. Instead, they scattered in every direction. Some dove under the Court formation. Others swung wide to the sides. 3 small ships flew straight at the enemy fleet, like they were going to ram them. "They have gone mad." A Court captain shouted. "Easy targets." But the small ships were not suicide vessels. Just before impact, they released thousands of small object-tiny drones, each carrying explosives. The drones moved too fast for Court point defense systems. They hit like a swarm of angry insects. Explosions rippled across Court shields. The shields held, but they flickered and weakened. That was when the real attack began. Human ships did not use energy weapons like the aliens. Energy weapons were clean and predictable. Instead, humans used kinetic weapons, solid slugs of metal, accelerated to incredible speeds. They also used missiles that twisted and turned, that split into multiple warheads, that learned and adapted. The Court fleet tried to fight back, but humans did not stay in one place. They moved constantly, never giving the enemy a clear shot. When a human ship took damage, it did not retreat. It kept fighting. Some even rammed damaged Court vessels on purpose, sacrificing themselves to take the enemy down. "This is not warfare," Crowell shouted as his fleet fell apart around him. "This is madness." In 20 minutes, it was over. 15 Court warships destroyed. The human fleet had lost 8 ships, but they had won. News of the battle spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The Council called an emergency meeting. They could not believe what happened. How could the humans barely in space for a few years defeat a Court war fleet? Prime Vorn studied the battle reports. His hands were shaking behind his golden mask. They fight without honor, without rules. They sacrifice their own to kill us. A Myra diplomat named Rel spoke up. Her voice was like water flowing over stones. Perhaps we underestimated them. Perhaps we should negotiate. Negotiate? A Drax scientist named Finn made a harsh sound. After Mars? After we declared them enemies? They will want revenge. Then we give them nothing to revenge, Vorn decided. We send the full might of the Council Armada. 500 warships. We will crush Earth once and for all. Show the galaxy what happens when primitives refuse to submit. But in her private chambers, Rel looked at the battle data again. She had seen something the others missed. Human ships moved in patterns that seemed random, but were not. They communicated in ways the Council could not intercept. And most disturbing of all, the humans had only used a fraction of their fleet. How many more ships did Earth have hiding? The answer would terrify the galaxy. 3 days later, the Council Armada gathered. 500 warships from all 5 races. It was the largest military force assembled in 1,000 years. They would jump to Earth's solar system. They would end this quickly. What they did not know was that humanity was ready. While the Council gathered their fleets, Earth had been preparing. Not just weapons, humanity had prepared something the aliens would never expect. Trap. Admiral Emma stood on the Bridge of Retribution and watched the enemy fleet approach on long-range sensors. Behind her, hidden in the asteroid fields, behind the moons, in the dark spaces between planets, 1,000 human warships waited in silence. Tom Bradley's voice came over her private channel. He was commanding the defense of Earth itself. Ready when you are, Emma. She looked at the massive enemy fleet. They came in a proud formation, all their ships visible, broadcasting their power for all to see. Humans had learned long ago that pride comes before the fall. All ships, Emma said quietly. Light them up. The Battle of Sol, as it would later be called, lasted 6 hours. It was the most brutal battle the galaxy had ever seen. The Council's 500 warships jumped into Earth's solar system, expecting an easy victory. What they found was human ships poured out from every hiding spot, from behind asteroids, from beneath the rings of Saturn, from the dark side of moons. They came from everywhere at once. Ambush! A Vex commander screamed. They knew we were coming. Of course they knew. Humanity had been at war with itself for millennia. They understood strategy. They understood deception. They understood that showing your full strength before the fight is how you lose. The Council fleet tried to form defensive positions, but human ships would not let them. Small, fast-attack craft piloted by volunteers who knew they might not return flew directly into the enemy formations. They released electromagnetic pulses that disrupted alien targeting systems. They fired thousands of small missiles that forced enemy ships to waste. Ammunition on point defense dot, and then the real weapons arrived. Earth had built something new, something the aliens had never seen. Massive railguns on the dark side of Earth's moon, hidden from any scanning. Each gun could fire projectiles at a significant fraction of light speed. The projectiles were simple, just dense metal rods. But at those speeds, they hit with the force of nuclear weapons. A Court battleship, one of the largest in the galaxy, took a direct hit. The rod punched through its shields like they were paper, went through the armor like it was nothing. The ship broke in half and exploded. More rods followed. More ships died. General Krall, leading what remained of his fleet, tried to rally his forces. All ships, focus fire on their moon base. Destroy those weapons. But human ships swarmed his vessels before they could target the moon. And humanity had more surprises. Captain Tom Bradley commanded the defense station above, Earth. He had been waiting for this moment. Release the drones, he ordered. Thousands of small, AI-controlled drones launched from Earth's orbit. Each one was barely bigger than a car. Each one was packed with explosives, and each one had been programmed with one simple mission: find an enemy ship and destroy it. The drones moved like a swarm. When the aliens shot down 10, 20 more took their place. When the aliens tried to run, the drones followed. They were relentless, unstoppable. The Mira diplomat Rel watched from her command ship in horror. This was not war as she knew it. This was extermination. We must retreat. She shouted, "Call for retreat." But Prime Vorn refused. "No, we cannot show weakness. We are the Council. We rule the galaxy." His pride cost lives. Hundreds of ships. Tens of thousands of alien soldiers. Finally, when only 200 Council ships remained, when their formations had completely collapsed, when even Vorn could see the battle was lost, he called for a ceasefire. Emma Cross received the message. "They want to negotiate," Lieutenant Jack Moore said quietly. Emma looked at the tactical display. Human losses had been heavy, too. 200 ships destroyed. 50,000 dead. But they had won. "Tell them we accept." For now, 3 days later, the Council met with human representatives. But this time, it was different. This time, the meeting happened on Earth, in a simple building in Geneva. Not in some grand council chamber. Prime Vorn entered without his golden mask. He looked old and tired. With him came leaders from all 5 races. They sat across from Tom, Emma, and 3 other human representatives. "You fight like demons," Vorn said quietly. "You are more dangerous than we ever imagined." Tom leaned forward. "We tried to tell you. We came in peace. We offered friendship. You answered with death. You killed our people on Mars. Children, families. You gave us no choice. What do you want?" Rel asked. Her voice was small now. Afraid. Emma slid a document across the table. "These are our terms. Earth becomes an independent sovereign nation. You will never attack our colonies or our ships again. You will pay reparations for Mars. And most importantly, you will tell every race in the galaxy what happened here. You want us to advertise our defeat?" Crow growled. "No," Tom said. "We want you to advertise that humanity wanted peace. We gave you every chance. You chose war. And now you know we do not lose wars. We end them." The council members looked at each other. They had no choice. Earth held all the power now. Vorn signed the treaty with shaking hands. "The galaxy will fear you," he whispered. Emma stood up. "Good. Let them fear us. But more than that, let them remember. Earth tried peace. You brought war. We responded. And now there is a new order in this galaxy. The aliens left Earth that day. The treaty was spread across every world, every station, every colony. The message was clear: humanity was not to be trifled with. In the years that followed, some alien races came to Earth with genuine friendship. Humanity welcomed them. Trade flourished. Cultural exchange began, but there were also those who tested humanity's resolve: pirates, warlords, aggressive empires, who thought the stories were exaggerated. They learned quickly. Humanity kept its word about peace. But when threatened, they responded with overwhelming force. Earth had tried peace. The galaxy chose war. And humanity had taught them all a lesson they would never forget. In the void of space, human ships now patrolled the borders. Not as conquerors, but as guardians. Ready to defend. Ready for peace. But always, always ready for war. The end.